Hi, this is Ashley Swartz, CEO and founder of Furious Minds. I've had the pleasure of hosting the Smart TV and Multi-Screen Advertising Summit here in San Francisco. It's been a great event. It's been a pretty high-level group of individuals, exclusive group, about 120 folks, which means business has really been done and hard conversations have been had. So I want to start with what I'm geeking out the most about, which is an exclusive scoop we got from JP Lee, who is the Executive Vice President at Ensors. So Ensors is an audio and video-based ACR technology company out of Korea. And as we know, sort of the dominant players in the OEM space are really a lot of the Korean guys, LG and Samsung specifically. And you know, there's sort of this enigmatic aspect to the Korean culture. Having served Samsung for a few years, I can tell you that business is done in a very specific and sort of formidable way. Ensors last year was a startup that was bought in a very large deal, dollar-wise, by KT, or Korea Telecom in Korea. And they just announced, exclusive scoop we got today at the show, that they are the partner for ACR provisioning for Samsung in North America, which is a pretty big deal. So it talks now to opening up the platform. There's now going to be an ACR data API that is accessible for what is the largest OEM television provider in the US and globally, actually. So that's an incredible tipping point and opportunity, I think, for the marketplace. Beyond that, sort of the conversations have been pretty unique. You know, we talked a lot about collaboration, specifically how the ecosystem and the value chain really needs to work more closely, and this kind of balance between scale and reach and innovation. You know, data, of course, has been top of mind and a big part of the conversation. And we spoke a lot about the fact that it is a fire hose right now, right? How do we integrate data to make more informed decisions in TV buying when really the toolkit and the talent maps of TV buyers hasn't changed? We need innovation in the arsenals and the dashboards for TV buying. And is TV actually going to be sold any differently is really a big question that we kind of dance around, right? So we talk about the ecosystem of television, premium video, and using things like eGRPs and OCR, but the reality is that TV buying isn't going to change regardless of whether or not TV is priced or valued differently, and there's more tools and data sets to inform the buying process, at least in the near future, in the next 5 years, based on what everybody's saying here as thought leaders. The collaboration part was really interesting, right? Because we're talking about sort of connectors in the ecosystem evolving, where the ad networks and the technology platforms, the demand side platforms, are really actually connective tissue, sort of from legacy to, you know, new to old and legacy to emerging, right? And I think that's really important because these guys are not only innovating and enabling new solutions and bringing this connected ecosystem of television together en masse to make it viable as well as sellable for the ecosystem, but they're also actually sort of forging a bridge and doing translation, because the language of traditional television is different from the language of digital. And the question is the language of digital what we really need to use and apply to television? Do we want to talk about clicks on TV? I don't think we do. And I also don't think we want to add a multiple of equivalency to what an eyeball is in, you know, on the line and in an IP delivered environment over the top versus television audience, right? I think when we start to actually, you know, create fixed ratios of value, all it's going to do is commoditize the value of the inventory and the experience, and even more muddy the waters as to what engagement is and ROI is for an advertiser. The other big thematic that is my personal interpretation is this contrast between buyable and sellable. Just because you got something that's good media and it's buyable, it doesn't mean that it can be easily or sold rather, can easily be bought and integrated into the standard ad ops processes and fit into the spreadsheet of media buyers. You got to make it easy for these guys, because the agencies are carrying a Herculean burden and task of changing and adapting and being able to ingest all this new information, this fire hose of data coming in, and they can only bear one cross at a time. Lastly, I think the most important thing is that where the industry is that it is about standardization and transparency, right? And it's about a uniformed perspective of all of the key players, the OEMs, the broadcasters, and the operators, that if we sit around the campfire, hold hands, have a little kumbaya moment, and at least start to talk about what standard creative executions are, specifically in this world of native ACR on the first screens, that is what the industry needs in order to accelerate. And if we have continually divergent agendas and views, all we're going to end up doing is compromising the user experience of watching and consuming television content on a television, and we're actually going to devalue it faster than we're going to create value and recognize revenue. So this is great. I'm super excited. I'm heading off to Digital Hollywood, and as always, it's a pleasure. I welcome you to give me comments, feedback, or questions. Ashley at furious-minds.com. Thanks.